3 fences, armed guards every 200 meters, radar that can track a housefly from 6 miles out, and you're crouching behind a rock in the Nevada desert at 2 a.m., holding a laptop and a prayer. 14 hours ago, you were in your bedroom, warm, safe, eating Doritos. Now you're 2 miles from the most classified military base on Earth with a USB drive in your pocket and zero exit strategy. How did you get here? Rewind 14 hours. 3 weeks you've been tracing an IP address. Through proxy chains, encrypted relay nodes, and 3 government honeypots that almost fried your hard drive. Tonight the trace resolved. Groom Lake, Nevada, a server farm 60 feet underground. Your terminal says access granted. 5 folders. Diplomatic contact. Visual evidence. Majestic 12. Operation Looking Glass. And 1 pulsing red. Do not open. You click diplomatic contact. A photo loads. Underground conference room. A former president at a metal table. 3 grey-skinned figures across from him. Not human. Shaking hands. 3 fingers. Your stomach drops. You open more files. A second president chairing a meeting with a holographic star map. An alien standing next to the Resolute desk in a dark robe. Calm, like they'd been there before. A disc-shaped craft in an underground hangar. Scientists walking around it like mechanics studying a broken engine. 6 different alien species, visiting since Eisenhower. Photographs spanning 7 decades. A folder called Terminations, names, dates, fake causes of death. One says suicide but lists 2 entry wounds. Another says drowning for a man who lived in Arizona. Every conspiracy theorist on the internet was right. All of them. And you're a 19-year-old in a bedroom that smells like Red Bull and regret, looking at the proof. Then your left monitor flickers. Green text appears. You didn't type it. We see you. Stay where you are. Do not close this session. You rip the Ethernet cable out of the wall, kill the router, smash the hard drive with a hammer you keep under the desk for exactly this reason, which tells you something about your life choices. Then you see the light through the curtains. Bright. White, getting brighter. Not a street light, not a car. A black triangle, the size of a football field, hovering above your house, 1 beam pointed at you. The light holds for 10 seconds. Then it moves on. Scans the next house, then the one after that. It's searching. It hasn't locked onto you yet. You have a choice. Wait for them to come back, or go to them first. You pack a bag in 40 seconds. Laptop, USB drive, bolt cutters from the garage. You're on the highway before the triangle finishes scanning your block. 6 hours later, you're on Route 375, the extraterrestrial highway. No other cars, no cell signal. Nothing but flat, empty desert and a darkness so complete you forget cities exist. In your backpack, a laptop with a cloned copy of the server access codes, a USB drive, bolt cutters, a pocket screwdriver, and a granola bar that expired 3 months ago. Your plan is stupid. You know it's stupid. A 19-year-old with bolt cutters versus the most secure facility in human history. But you've seen the files. You know what's under that desert. And nobody else is going to do this. 3 cuts. The wire snaps each time, a hole big enough to crawl through. 2 miles of open desert between you and the base. No cover. No plan B. If a patrol spots you, it's a federal crime carrying 20 years. You start walking. Every step echoes in your ears. The base gets bigger. The buildings sharpen. You can see individual windows now, guard towers, camera housings, and a ventilation shaft on the east side of Building 12, exactly where the server blueprint said it would be. 4 screws, a pocket screwdriver, 60 seconds of controlled panic. The grate comes off. You're staring into a metal tube barely wide enough for your shoulders. You crawl. The metal groans under your weight. Every inch sounds like a thunderclap. Dust in your eyes, cobwebs in your mouth. Through the grate below, 2 guards walking a patrol route, boots clicking on polished floor. They pass. You count to 60. Then you push the grate. The corridor smells like bleach and recycled air. Temperature controlled, humidity controlled. This place has better climate than your apartment. Your sneakers squeak on the polished floor, every sound bounces off the walls and comes back louder. You count cameras. 14 in the first corridor alone. Whatever their system is, your cloned keycard satisfies it. Every reader flashes green. Click, open, move. You pass a medical bay. Empty gurneys behind glass windows. Equipment you don't recognize. Something that looks like a dentist's chair with restraints. You don't slow down. The fourth door opens into a room that stops you cold. An archive, physical, paper, photographs, film reels in metal canisters. Decades of classified material organized in rows that stretch back further than the room's lights reach. Someone was here recently. The coffee is still warm. Every president since Eisenhower. Connected by red string to alien species photographs. Landing sites on 5 continents. 70 years of secret contact. Printed, stamped, filed in a room that smells like old paper and betrayal. You pull out your phone. Start photographing everything. Your hands won't stop shaking, page after page after page. You pick up a folder labeled Technology Transfer. Inside, schematics, fiber optics, night vision, stealth coating, Kevlar, technology the government credited to human engineers. They lied. Aliens traded it. In exchange for access to us. Then you hear the elevator, down the hall, the mechanical hum of gears descending. Someone is coming. Or something. You pocket the phone, grab the backpack, move. The stairwell door says authorized personnel only. Below it, a second sign, biological hazard below B5. You push it open. Cold air hits you. You go down, past B3, past B5. The air gets colder with every level. The walls change from white to raw concrete to something that looks carved from bedrock. By B7, your breath is visible and your fingers are numb. Pods, thousands of them, floor to ceiling, row after row stretching into blue-green darkness. And inside each one, a person, floating, eyes closed, tubes in their arms and neck, alive, dreaming. A woman, mid-30s, floating in gel. A screen on her pod shows a heartbeat. Brain activity, alive, but not awake, being processed. And she has no idea. You walk between them, counting. Your brain can't stop counting. You pass a pod with a kid inside, can't be older than 10. Identical tubes, identical barcode. Peaceful sleeping face, your throat closes. The far end of the room has a processing area. Conveyor belts, robotic arms, empty pods being cleaned and refilled with gel. New pods coming online, a production line. Automated, efficient, scaling up. The grey aliens. Same ones from the photographs upstairs. Walking between the pods, checking readings, adjusting tubes, wearing lab coats, treating humans like inventory on a warehouse floor. You count the rows, 12 across, each row at least 100 pods deep. And this is one level. The stairwell had markers going down to B12. 5 more levels below you, all full. The aliens aren't visiting, they're farming. Your phone hits 4%. 11 minutes of footage, enough to end the world. You need to go, now. You turn toward the stairwell, 3 steps, turn the corner, and walk straight into one of them. It looks at you, you look at it. For 3 seconds, nothing in the universe moves, then it tilts its head. Slowly, like a dog hearing a frequency humans can't. Its hand comes up, 3 long fingers, reaching for your forehead. You feel warmth radiating from its palm. You duck, sprint. Your backpack catches on its arm. You don't stop. Your legs are moving before your brain gives permission. Alarms, red lights. Every blast door in the facility starts closing. You slide under one with 6 inches to spare. Your backpack catches. You rip it free. Keep running. The emergency exit dumps you into open desert. Cold air hits your face like a slap. Stars overhead, sand underfoot. You run. Searchlights sweep the ground behind you. Engines, tires on sand, helicopters spinning up, the entire base going from sleeping to hunting in 30 seconds. You're lying face down behind a rock, covered in sand, 19 years old, holding a phone with 2% battery that contains proof aliens are farming humans underground. And all you can think is, I should have stayed home. Then everything stops. Searchlights dead, engines killed, helicopters grounded, all of it, Like someone pulled the plug on the whole military. The military isn't chasing you anymore. They're retreating. Humvees reversing at full speed, helicopter landing like it was ordered. And the US military doesn't retreat from a teenager with a backpack. Not unless something with higher clearance told them to stand down. The triangle, the same one from your house, it found you. The beam sweeps toward you. You run faster than you've ever moved. Your lungs are on fire. Your legs are rubber. But the fence is right there. Your hole in the fence, 20 meters. The car, 40 meters. The engine turns over on the first try. That's the first lucky thing that's happened all night. You fishtail onto the highway. The triangle hangs in the air behind you, beam scanning the spot where the car was. It doesn't follow. You don't look back again. You drive until the sun comes up. Then you keep driving. Somewhere outside Tonopah, you pull over. Your hands haven't stopped shaking for 4 hours. The phone in your pocket has 1% battery and 14 minutes of video that would break the internet. You always wondered if we were alone. Now you know.